Yo, what's up, Stalkers? Welcome to the craziest corner of the zone, where today we're diving into the freakiest, deadliest, and downright weirdest mutant that want to make you their next snack. From brain-melting controllers to radioactive deer that are clearly holding a grudge, the zone's roster of monstrosities is a lineup you don't want to meet on your morning stroll. Grab your gear, load your guns, and hold on tight, because this is gonna be the wild ride through the zone's finest freak show. Let's jump in and see which of these nightmare-fueled mutants has what it takes to make you scream first. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Let's start off with the Rodents. They may not be the most terrifying mutants in the zone, but they're one of the most common. And when they come in packs, they can be a real pain. These tiny scurrying creatures are super fast and tough. They don't pack much of a punch individually. Their sheer numbers can overwhelm you if you're not paying attention. They usually live in the more abundant or run down areas of the zone, feeding off the scraps left behind by more dangerous creatures. Despite their small size, they're surprisingly tough to hit. They dart around you and keep you guessing, and with how fast they move, it's easy to underestimate them. But trust me, if you're not careful, they swarm you, and you'll find yourself spending more ammo on them than you like. Best tip? Don't panic, stay calm, take out the leader, and the rest of the pack will scatter. It's like a mini apocalypse, except instead of fiery death and destruction, you've got a bunch of tiny angry fuzzballs nipping at your ankles. Maybe next time, leave the crumbs behind. Next up, we got the blind dogs. Yeah, these mutants might sound like easy targets since they can't see, but don't be fooled. The other scents are so sharp that they can track you down just with the whiff of your scent. And trust me, when they start hunting you, it's like they've got one go, eating you for their next meal. These dogs aren't exactly slow either. Despite being blind, they'll charge at you at breakneck speed. Once they pick up your scent, you'll usually find them in packs, and one's bad enough. But when they work together, they can pin you down and cause serious damage. Their behavior is highly instinctual. They'll stalk and track their prey relentlessly, only stopping when they catch you. So if you're not careful, you might end up with more than just a bite wound on your hand. So what you need to do is keep moving. If you stand still for too long, you might get surrounded before you know it. And don't let them get close to you. Use your gun or melee weapons to take them out before they reach you. It's like that one dog at the park that's not really interested in fetching. Nope, it's want to eat your face, and that's the worst part. It's not even cute. And now it's time to talk about fleshes. Fleshes are some of the most disturbing mutant in the zone, and let's be honest, they're also one of the most grotesque. These mutated blobs of flesh are like walking Frankenstein monster hatched together from whatever's lying around in the zone, and they're slow, like really slow, so you might think they're easy to take down. But here's the thing, they're tough as hell. Their bloated bodies can absorb a ton of damage, and they have the annoying habit of surrounding you, making them more of a problem the longer you let them live. Fleshes don't use any advanced tactics, no fancy jumping or telekinesis, but their overwhelming presence is what makes them so dangerous. If you get caught in a narrow area with a flesh, don't expect to be able to run. The best approach is keep your distance, aim for their weak spot, and use explosive if you got them. But remember, don't let them get too close or you're going to be in the big trouble. It's like someone decided to make a mutant out of a leftover from a bad buffet. Hey, let's take all the leftovers meat, slap it together, and now it's our problem to deal with these shits. Boars are one of the most aggressive creatures in the zone, and don't let their grunt-filled noises fool you. They're no slushes. These mutants have been supercharged with aggression, and their tusks are as dangerous as anything you find. It'll charge at you with all the forces of a freight train, and even though they're usually solo hunters, if you stumble into a pack of them, forget it, you'll be fighting for your life. Boars are also surprisingly fast to their size, and if you're not paying attention, they'll close the distance before you even have a chance to react. They are relentless, and once they locked onto you, they won't stop until they had their fill. So what's the best way to deal with them? Keep your distance, use a sniper rifle to pick them off, or if you're in a close quarter, use a shotgun to get them off you quickly. Imagine a pig on a steroid with a bad attitude. That's your boar in a nutshell. It's like a zone's version of a linebacker, but it's got tusk and doesn't know how to play fair. Now it's time to talk about the Bloodsuckers. This one is terrifying. It's a terrifying mutant in the zone. This guy is like a nightmare come to life. With its ability to turn invisible, it can sneak up on you without warning, and the next thing you know, you're struggling to breathe as it drains the life out of you. And if you think you can hear it coming, think again, bro. This thing is silent as ghost. It's like the zone's version of a creepy hypnotist, except instead of charming you, it's sucking the life out of you. The worst part, bloodsuckers are fast. They close the gap between you in seconds, and if you don't spot them quickly, it's game over. To deal with these freaks, you need thermal vision or a good flashlight. Once you can spot them, keep firing, but don't get too close. This thing will tear you apart before you even know what happened. It's like playing a hide and seek with a ninja. but instead of hiding, it's just trying to eat you, and trust me, you're the one. And now it's time to talk about Poltergeists. Poltergeists in the zone are the ultimate telekinetic tricksters. These guys don't need to get up close to hurt you. Instead, they'll throw everything they can find at you. Rocks, cars, scrap metals, you name it, they threw it. They're like the zone's version of the poltergeist hunting your nightmare. Except these ones can kill you with a single throw. Imagine walking into an abandoned building and suddenly the world's against you. Walls shaking, objects flying at you from every direction. That's what a poltergeist can do. They love to play tricks on you, moving items around, creating distraction, and make you think you're seeing things that aren't there. To deal with them, you need to be fast and prepared. Move quickly, avoid objects flying at you, and don't let them corner you in a tight space. It's like the zone's angry telekinetic really needs to take a chill pill. Instead of relaxing, it just throws all the furniture at you and screams. I'm not sure about that one. Now let's talk about zombies. Zombies in the zone are a real tragedy. These poor souls were once human, but now they've been turned into a slow-brained dead husk of their former selves. They wander aimlessly, groaning as they stumble around, but don't let that lull you into a false sense of security. Though they're easy to kill with a few shots to the head, their true danger comes in numbers. A single zombie is no threat, but a whole group of them, that's where things get hairy. Zombies are often found in the most unexpected places, abandoned buildings, underground bunkers, or even out in the open in some of the more desolated zones. They are a threat you'll have to deal with them constantly, but they're also a reminder of horrors the zone has unleashed on humanity. The way you need to deal with them is to just go for headshots. Don't waste your time with body shots. If you don't take their brains out, they'll keep coming at you. It's like being in a zombie movie, except everyone is a little more whoops, tripped over a rock than a gruesome horror. But still, I wouldn't test their patience. And now, it's time to talk about the zone's mind-bending freaks, controllers. And honestly, they're like something straight out of your worst nightmares. These mutants don't just attack you physically, they mess with your brain. Picture this, you're just walking through the zone, thinking everything's fine, and then bam, you're suddenly hallucinating. The controller is warping your mind with his psychic power, making you see things that aren't there and confusing the hell out of you. These guys have huge heads, no surprise there, and their abilities are not just annoying, they're deadly. While you're struggling to focus and figure out what's real, they'll send you into a panic, making it even harder to take them down. But don't let them get inside your head. The best way to deal with them is to keep your distance. Use cover and keep firing until you make their huge glowing head explode. It's like the zone hired a creepy hypnotist who's just a little too invested in making you question everything about reality. But instead of curing your issues, it's just trying to get you to have a panic attack. And that's what actually happens when you encounter one of them. And now it's time to talk about the telekinetic bullies. These big guys are scary not because of their size, but because they can throw things at you without even moving a muscle. Yeah, you heard that right. Telekinesis. They can pick up the rocks, metal scraps, and even whole trees and hurl them at you with terrifying accuracy. So, if you're trying to fight one of these freaks, you've got to keep your wits about you. 1 minute, you're dodging their psychic projectiles, the next, you're trying to figure out how to get close enough to deal with the killing blow. These guys are tough, but they're not invincible. It's just their telekinesis that makes them so dangerous. So use your agility to get close without getting hit, and then unleash everything you've got. This is the tip how to deal with them. Don't stand in one spot for too long. These mutants love to throw things, and you don't want to become their next projectile. It's like the zone's version of a telekinetic bouncer who's tired of waiting in line. You want it, and you say, nah buddy, but you're getting hit with a flying car. Snorks are probably the zone's creepiest mutants. Part man, part freaky fishman, and all terrifying. These guys aren't just walking toward you like a zombie, oh no. They've got crazy agility, and they love to leap at you from the shadow. Imagine walking down a dark hallway thinking everything's fine, and then boom, you're face to face with one of these freaks, claws out, and ready to tear you apart. The Snorks are extremely agile, leaping toward the air with grace, and they're much more dangerous than they appear. Their heads might remind you of a horrifying blend of human and aquatic life, but trust me, it's the way they move and attack that'll really get to you. Their high-pitched screech is also enough to make your skin crawl, and if you got more than one hunting you down, well, good luck with that. I don't have a tip for that one, but no, there's a tip. You'll want to use loud noises to lure them away from their hiding spot, but once they are on you, use your shotgun or any close-range weapon to quickly dispatch them. It's like a nightmare version of your local swimming pool mascot decided to leave the water, grow some limbs, and then try to kill you. Honestly, I wouldn't even swim with these guys. Just stay out of their territory. Now it's time to talk about Psy-Dogs. These aren't your average mods. What a word. Sure, they've got the aggression and speed you'd expect from the regular dog, but what makes these bad boys stand out in their psychic abilities? These dogs can mess with your mind as they rush into attack. Imagine trying to shoot at a dog that also is scrambling your brain, making your second guess every shot you take. It's as if these dogs know how to play not a 3D but a 4D chess while you're still struggling to win a game of tic-tac-toe. These mutants may seem like just another animal attack, but they're far more dangerous than you think. They'll rush at you in packs, using their psychic powers to throw off your aim and disorient you. It's a battle of both physical and mental endurance. The best way to fight them is to stay mobile and avoid getting surrounded. Aim for headshots, because if they get close, they'll tear you apart. It's like having a rabid dog chase you while it's trying to hack into your brain. I mean, how's that fair? I can barely remember where I put my keys, and now I've got 5 psychic canines. And now it's time to talk about Bayun, or as I like to call them, the zone's weird radioactive house cats. They are not the adorable little furballs you see at the home. These are massive mutant cats with an unsettling ability. They can hypnotize you with just a look. That's right, they lock eyes with you and suddenly your brain is their plaything. You'll find yourself wandering into dangerous territory as if you've forgotten all about self-preservation. So yeah, don't look them in the eyes, unless you want to find yourself being turned into catnip. The Bayun is a dangerous stalker, and once it gets you under control, it's almost impossible to escape its influence. You'll see these things that aren't there, you'll start walking into danger without realizing it, and next thing you know, you're walking straight into the claws of whatever else happens to be around you. Best bet, avoid eye contact, and take them down from a distance. It's like the zone decided to take your average house cat, gave it the power of hypnotist, and then send it out to wreck your day. No thanks, I stick to my regular cat who's just knocking things off the table instead of making me their personal zombies. Okay, now it's time to talk about the Mutated Deer. Oh, that name is really weird. These aren't the cute, gentle creatures you see grazing in the forest. They've been twisted by the zone into something much more dangerous. These deer are fast, unpredictable and aggressive, often found in areas where you least expect them. They charge at you if they feel threatened, and their horns are sharp enough to impale you if you're not careful. They tend to move in herds, and although they're not as deadly as some other mutants, they're still a force to be reckoned with. The worst part? They're gluing us. It's like the zone's way of saying, I'm here and you're not safe. So how to deal with them? Keep your distance, and if they come charging, don't try to fight them head on. A quick shot to the head should send them running off. But don't get caught in a corner or you'll be sorry. That's all you can do. Imagine you're just minding your business in the wood and then run into a deer who's had a few too many doses of radioactive choice. I mean, I'm all for Bambi, but this Bambi looks like it wants to stab me with his face. The Chimera. Let's talk about Chimera. The Chimera is a true terror. This species is a mix of lion, goat, and something way worse. I mean, because it's pure muscle and raw aggression. These creatures have the speed and strength of a lion, the agility of a predator, and a horrifying roar that echoes through the zone. If you hear it coming, you better get ready, because the Chimera doesn't just charge, it destroys everything in its path. It's fast, it's terrifying, and when it gets close, it's going to make you wish you stayed in a safe house. The best approach? Keep your distance. These guys don't take kindly to being shot from afar, but if you got the firepower, don't hesitate to unload on him. Aim for his leg to slow it down, and don't try to take it on a melee unless you've got the best armor and gear. It's like the zone's answer to a bodybuilding competition, gone triply wrong. Instead of posing, this thing just wants to rip you in half, and it probably wins the contest. Finally, we got the Pseudogiants. The massive beasts are like the zone's version of a natural disaster. Imagine an enormous, mutated ape that built like a tank and can rip through everything in this path with ease. These beasts are huge, strong, and utterly terrifying. If you think the Chimera was bad, wait until you encounter one of these giants. They move slowly, but when they hit you, you're going flying. They can obliterate cover and smash anything in their way, and they can take a lot of punishment before going down. Your best bet? Use the environment to your advantage. If you're in an area with tight space, try to keep your distance and chip away at its health with long-range weapon. But if you're out in the open, you might want to start praying. It's like the zone said, okay, let's take the biggest, angriest gorilla we can find, and then add a little bit of I'm not paying for your insurance level of destruction, and now it's walking around smashing everything inside. And there you have it, comrade. A deep dive into the nightmare-inducing creatures that make the zone the most dangerous, yet a strangely fascinating place on Earth. From mind-bending controls to flying debris courtesy of the Boars, and let's not forget the radioactive house cats trying to turn you into their personal chew toy. The zone truly has something horrifying for everyone. But hey, That's what makes it exciting, right? Each encounter is a mix of adrenaline, panic, and what fresh hell is this? So, whether you're a rookie trying to survive your first anomaly or a seasoned veteran looking for that next big thrill, remember one thing, in the zone you are the prey more often than not. So the next time you venture out in the zone, keep your wits about you, your shotgun loaded and a healthy sense of humor ready to go. Because sometimes laughing at your impending doom is the only way to keep yourself sane. Thanks for tuning in, Stalkers. If you enjoyed this guide to the zone's freakiest freaks, smash that like button, drop a comment about your most terrifying mutant encounter, and hit that subscribe button for more zone madness. Until next time, stay safe, stay sharp, and don't let the bloodsuckers bite.